Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, I found out, and I guess it's really no surprise, while some of these episodes have been lacking, and they've been lacking because the strike and the scab writers, and the fact that they shoot like about 6 months ahead. So the reason why some of these stories haven't really been moving, why I made a video talking about Days of Our Lives now sucks and everything, is because of that exact reason. Somebody told me, I don't know exactly how true this is, somebody was simply telling me that they really couldn't move forward with a lot of the stories because of the writer's strike and they weren't allowed to really move anything forward with the scab writers. I don't know exactly how true that is, but that would explain um, why a lot of episodes have just been fillers. And it is unfortunate. It really is. Makes me think a little bit. One second. I mean, part of me makes me think that if these stories are going to be that bad, would it have just been better if they just would have just stopped? And not to sit there and say every single episode was bad. Would it have just been better if they just would have just stopped with production until they was able to get the writers back? Because like even an episode like this where it wasn't like the worst of the worst. There was just a lot of stuff I could have did without, you know. Leo and whatever the hell he was there doing with Paulina, and just I know people was saying he was trying to be sweet and the whole crying and everything like that, but it was just like, it was way over the top. Like, I feel like Leo doesn't have that much of a connection with Paulina, and I don't think that Paulina is just this pillar of strength. So, the over the top, the over sappy emotional speech just seemed undeserving. Like if it was Abe, it would have made sense because he's been there for a long time and people have seen him rise and fall and everything like that. So a profound speech like that would have made sense for him. But for her, who literally got into town not that long ago, I don't see it. And every time I sit there and think about that miraculous recovery and Abe getting his memories back, I'm just like, it's just one of those things where it just disappoints the living hell out of me. Chad going overboard with Leo when he just brung up the um the jailbreak. Because at the end of the day, yes, I understand your 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 issue with Clyde and the emotions that it brings just bringing up his name, but you're a newspaper, right? So it's not like other newspapers aren't going to be snippy talking about this. This is a pretty big hot topic that you would think that the spectator would want to cover for their viewers and not do it because of personal bias. So when he was talking about, oh well, my kids and this, that, and the third, it was like, bro, you okay? First of all, I think you got your message across like 15 seconds ago. You're doing too much now. You're doing too much, which is completely unnecessary. The conversation with Steve and Johnny didn't really go anywhere. Uh, Jada, Jada's starting to bother me. Jada is starting to literally bother the hell out of me because she has this tendency of just going overboard, right? And it's even in a situation like Harris where her she might have well meaning, she doesn't know where to stop. She doesn't have a point where it's like, all right, I'm doing too much. Let me stop. First, she's sitting there talking about how he's pushing himself too hard and she went in his apartment and stuff like that. And it was like, whoa, you went in his apartment? That might have been a little bit too much, but okay. And then she talks about Ava. When he found out that he was shacking up with Ava, he was like, "Yeah, listen, I can't really afford a nurse or anything like that, so I'll just stay with her, we're cool and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, I don't want you to throw your badge away, this, that, and the third. Then she brings up the code of conduct. And I'm like, whoa, sweetheart. First of all, you would practically sit there banging your boss before the a-hole of a mayor at the time practically fired Rafe. So do not bring up code of conduct. Which, by the way, she did sit there and said she bent the rules with Teresa when she got high. So even with that being said, I understand where she's coming from as far as, hey, listen, she's bad news and just may put your career at jeopardy. I understand that. But once again, she has a way of going over the line. She has a way of going over the line. And then when she's confronted by her hypocrisy, then she gets so upset and it's like, well, don't sit there and bring up the code of conduct because I bringing my sister to jail. I'm like, well, you really didn't have a choice to bring your sister to jail because if you didn't, somebody else would have. So let's not sit there and try to act like you bent the law on that one. Eventually, somebody was going to find out. So you can kind of, what I'm saying, you can calm down with that one. And I think it's with this whole Everett thing that really started to bother me. Because at some point, you confronting him is going to get to a point of harassment. It's not good in general, and it's damn sure not good because you do have a badge. So let's sit there and really talk about that code of conduct since she wants to sit there and bring that up so much. Stefan comes in Chad's office drunk, talking all cryptic, apologizing for what he did to Abby. And then he goes to the station and turns himself in. And Jada's like, so you mean that you and Ava was conspiring and working for Clyde? I'm like, bro, why are you putting words in his mouth? That's not what he said. He literally sat there and said that he's doing this and he was, coerced and forced to do this stuff by Clyde. So, like, honestly, tell you the truth, you doing that can damn sure almost get the case thrown out. If he had a good lawyer, they're like, you know what, listen, you're putting words in my client's mouth and stuff like that. And cops are supposed to know the law pretty well, almost as much as a lawyer. So what are you doing at this point? It's things like that is just starting to irk me. I mean, the Everett thing definitely put it over the top, but even little things like that, it's like, boy, you need to really watch yourself with this because it's going to end very badly for you. Hopefully, by the time that they start to air the episodes where they do have the writers back, this show can start to get good again because all this stuff at this point is really just fillers and it's not really going anywhere. And it's just, it's like when I start looking for more to Y&R and B&B, you're doing something wrong. But I understand the scab writers are there. This is unfortunate we gotta sit there and kind of just suffer through this. That's the problem. You know that it's nothing that they can do. And so it's just one of those things where it's like I think maybe the show was counting on the fact that as long as the audience got to sit there and see their favorite characters, they would show a lot more. They would show a little leniency and grace and stuff like that, just to have them there. Oh, even General Hospital has scab writers, and a lot of people say that because of the scab writers, some of the episodes are a lot better than they normally were. This is doing the exact opposite, and what annoys me the worst is when I got to come down harder. When I gotta come down hard on Days of Our Lives, because Days of Our Lives again, I was sitting there champion like no tomorrow. I was sitting there telling people in my chat, in my stream, hey, listen, watch Days of Our Lives is killing it compared to General Hospital. And now I feel like I'm backtracking everything that I said, and I get it. Shows go up and down, but it still sucks in general. Now I feel like that's about it, but I also feel like there's stuff that I missed. So With that being said, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about, well, I mean, we'll talk about all the shows, even though Y&R and B&B is not going to be on for today and tomorrow because of March Madness. But we'll still talk about Born and Beautiful and Young and the Restless and General Hospital and Days of Our Lives. We'll sit there and talk about that all as well. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.